All right. So if you are watching this, welcome to this TikTok, or excuse me, this YouTube channel. My name is Andrew, and I run Test Prep Studios, which I is my company where I teach all sorts of strategies related to the GRE. Every now and then, and this is what we're doing today, I do a GRE live office hour. Um, and this is a chance for my students in all the various programs that I teach to ask any questions that they have. If you're interested in signing up for a class or for one of these office hours, you can take a look at my website, testprepstudios.com. I'll say that again. It's testprepstudios.com. So today we're supposed to have quite a few people joining us. I know if you're watching on YouTube, you might be seeing this as well. But we'll keep an eye on the waiting room for anyone else joining. Otherwise, let's get started with some questions that Laura had. So the first question comes from the official guide in there it is, and it's in the arithmetic chapter. Let me just see what you said. Exercise number 7, or exercise G at the end of chapter 7. So let me find that. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Boom. Okay. So we are in chapter 7, arithmetic, exercise G. And sorry, Laura, which number was it? Go back to your exercise G in chapter 2nd. Okay. First exercise. Okay. So it's this one right here then, yeah? 20 divided by 5 squared minus -2 plus 6 cubed. That one? Okay, great. So yeah, let's take a look at this. So the what we're testing here is PEMDAS, right? And just to review for anyone who's a little rusty on it, PEMDAS is the order of operations, which stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication. Sorry, my dog is running all over the place. Multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Now there's a little nuance to this that might cause an issue, but let's find out. So let's start with the parentheses. And Lori, you're welcome to interrupt me as I go here. And if that you have a question, feel free to add anything. So 20 divided by 5 is 4, right? So that's 4 squared. I'll write this over here. I get 4 squared minus, and then I'm going to work in this parentheses right here. -2 plus 6 is +4 cubed. Stop me if you have any questions on that so far, Laura. Then I'm going to do 4 squared, right? I'm going to deal with the exponents. 4 squared, which is 16, minus 4 cubed, which is 64. And that does get us -48. Did the book say something different on this one? What did the book say the answer was? Because if it said something different, that's almost certainly a typo. This is exercise 1, number G. Yeah, that is a typo. So you can mark that one as a typo in the book, Laura. Sorry for that confusion there. But if you did what I did, then yeah, then you're set. Okay, let's look at your next one here. And sorry, my dog is again barking at me, so I'm just going to let him out. Okay, so the next question that Laura had was, let me see here, 4B. Okay, so let's get rid of this. 4B is the next question. What are the positive divisors of 372? So Laura says, I went through all the integers from 1 to 10 to figure out divisors 1 to 372, but I missed 12. What's an easy way to make sure I get them all instead of testing all numbers? Well, that's kind of it. I'll give you a methodical way. I call it a factor V, right? So I start with at the very bottom, which is 1 in 372. And then I do 2 and what's that? 186, I believe. right? And on and on and on. And the way that you know you've gotten to the end is when the numbers cross. So I don't have my calculator on me right now, and my mind's not sharp enough to do the mental math just here, but you probably get to a point where it's like 12 and times something else. The minute the numbers cross, that's how you know you've gone too far. Because it's asking for all of the divisors, right? So you need kind of a methodical way. You could get fancy and do something with like combinatorics, but that just gets a little bit messy. I would stick to this. Okay, great. Any follow-up questions to that, Laura? Let's look at your next one here. And exercise 13. And by the way, I see Musa is in the room as well. Musa, if you have questions, you can send screenshots of those to my email address, testprepstudios@gmail.com. And yeah. Now, I'm just noticing here that on Zoom, it's not sharing, or is it sharing the screen? All right. Well, that's something that I'm going to have to figure out. Apologies for anyone watching on YouTube right now. Um, okay. Well, nonetheless, Musa, if you have questions that you want to, uh, one second. So someone's trying to get into the room here, and she should be able to. Let me just make sure. All right. So there was one more question that Laura had, and Musa, if there's another one that you have, we can take a look at that. Number 13. There are total, let me get rid of the writing here. There are a total of 20 cats, 20 dogs and cats at a kennel. If the ratio of the number of dogs to the number of cats at the kennel is 3 to 2, how many cats are at the kennel? All right. So let's talk about ratios here. A ratio basically compares numbers, right? So we know that the ratio of dogs to cats, sorry, is 3 to 2. So 3 cats per 2 dogs. And we know that there are 20 dogs. So the fraction that we set up here is going to be the same as this one, or is going to be equivalent to that one. And there are a few ways to do this. One is the classic cross multiplication. So you basically do 3 times 20, right, equals 2 times x, right? So 2x equals 60. So then you divide both sides by 2, divide by 2, and we get x equals 30. Does that make sense, Laura? If not, let me know. 20 dogs. Oh, I misread the question. I'm sorry. Sorry, I was trying to help this person get in the room here, but 20 dogs and cats. Yes, you're right. So not this, but if we have 3 cats and 2 dogs, sorry, the ratio of cats to dogs is 3 to 2. Let's look at it this way. and Laura, could you give me an example of a number of cats and a number of dogs that we could have if the ratio is 3 to 2? It could be 3 cats and 2 dogs. It could be 6 cats and 4 dogs. It could be 9 cats and 6 dogs, and on and on and on, right? Well, what's happening every time here? We're multiplying by the same constant value. So here we're multiplying both values by 2, so we get 6 and 4. Here we're multiplying both values by 3, so we get 9 and 6, right? And yeah. So one thing that we could say is that 3 times something, 3 times some number, plus I think you get it, yeah, plus 2 times the other number is going to be equal to 20, because the total number of animals is 20. So 3x plus 2x is 5x equals 20, right? Meaning that x, this number, that the constant that we're multiplying, is 4. X is equal to 4. And so we get 3 times 4, which is 12, plus 2 times 4, which is 8. So yes, the number of cats is 12. The number of dogs is 8. Great. Great, great, great. Um, Again, I don't know, for anyone watching on YouTube, I'm sorry, the screen isn't displaying here. It's a tech issue on my end. But for those of us watching in the Zoom room, are there any other questions? Any other questions that people have? How long is office hours today? If there's time nobody else has, yeah, I've allotted an hour. So if you're the only one with questions, Laura, fire away. I am gonna try to fix this in the YouTube channel, because that's not displaying for some reason. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm going